Alrighty, so yes, we are live, and yes, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me today. And it's day 3, the final day of dealing with sibling rivalry. Who is ready? If you're ready, let me see your comment in the comment section and tell me that you are ready. Thank you for joining us. How was yesterday? In one word, describe what this class have done for you. In one word, describe what this sessions have done for you. Just one word. Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. Let me see it. Alrighty. And if you can hear me today, we're implementing and reviewing solutions. Okay? We're implementing and reviewing solutions. That's what we're doing today. That's where we are today. So if you have not implemented, you know, you don't really where you are and all of that. One of the very major things that we're looking at today is how do we look for these solutions that we have, these things that we are doing. What are we going to be doing with it? So in the comment section, let me give you a few minutes for you to actually share with us what you've been able to do. So in one word, how was yesterday? And then describe to us what you've been able to. How have you implemented all of these things? So that we are not just everywhere telling you this is what you need to do and all of that. And that's why we had the worksheet. All right. So let me see the comments in the comment section. I'm waiting for the comments. All righty. Yes, I can see that we're just coming in. Yes, but we're still waiting for the comments. We want the comments. We want the comments. What have you been able to do? What have you been able to do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nobody that we've done, and we are waiting. We are waiting. We are waiting. We are waiting. I can see, I can see, I can see. Let's know. Let's know that the implementation process is I don't want us to come to this course and we're not implementing, we're just there and all of that. No, no, no. That's not what we want for this course. Tell us, did you use the worksheet? Did you use apart from the worksheet, did you use the checklist? What have you been able to do? Hello, Sarah. Hello, Glory. Hello, Emma Bo. I can just see hello, everybody. Good morning. No, stop saying good morning. Respond to us. Let's know where we are. Because today we're implementing, we're reviewing solutions. And I think that we should take questions before we actually conclude on this session today, because it's just all about implementation and reviewing solutions. So if you have your questions, ask them while we are, while we now review the 3 worksheet pack. I've been able to restrain myself from immediate intervention. I listen to them argue and resolve themselves. Awesome. I love it. I love it. This is just amazing. This is just amazing. Yes. Who else? I know why the questions are going on. Please, why the reviews are going on. Please ask your question. Because today we're just going to be looking at how to, day 2 worksheet pack, how to guide team. We have all the worksheets in their mail. Okay, great. How to guide, children in carrying out solutions that they developed for managing sibling conflict and to help them observe the effect of their decisions. So we'll start to revisit the solutions. That's what we're doing today. We're revisiting the solutions from yesterday. So that solution from yesterday is what we're working on. That worksheet. Describe what you've learned, finding first solutions. So we're looking at how I hope you have your worksheets with you. I hope you have your worksheets with you. I'm working on the worksheets. No implementation yet because they are in boarding school. But my husband and I are working on blaming each other. I love it. I love it because, of course, this is not just about the children. It's also about you. So fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep it coming. Okay, I'm here. Yes, let's keep it coming. All right, since we don't even have, the questions coming in yet, I'm going to run us through this worksheet. We called it implementation, it's the worksheet pack. So you're going to write down the chosen solutions that you provided. Then ask each child how you're going to plan through the actions today. So if you've provided any chosen solution, if you provided any chosen solution, get your children to actually write it down and then choose what it is. I was able to review the worksheet and identify and take a stand. Okay, that's awesome. When they come to me to intervene in their argument, I tell them to go and discuss what the problem is and find a way out. Okay, so have you also been able to tell them, teach them how to find the problem? Remember that part of the worksheet, we have the problem workout, the problem solving worksheet. All right. And please, think, can you help me upload that worksheet, the checklist again? All right. So that we can call it up when we need to. So the chosen solutions in the places provided, of course, you have this space provided, but of course you have this. We use the family conflict resolution plan to structure out the ways that we understand the causes of this conflict and way to handle them. Awesome, I love that. That there was the communication skills worksheet. So and yesterday we talked about all of these worksheets that you're supposed to use, even if it's one you used. We want to actually be able to say it. I'm struggling because I have just one child and my friends are far from me. Well, the only black in my area, I work remotely. I'm trying to think of how I can implement with my daughter. Do you have your spouse? Do you also have conversations with your daughter? You can implement between you and your daughter. Why not use the so instead of saying, oh, it's just only me, why not? There are different worksheets. Now, when you look at my screen, you're going to see the emotions regulation toolkit. Why not start from there? That's a beautiful place to actually start. All right. Everybody can work on their emotions. You can do it with your daughter and say, okay, between you and I, we're going to be working on our emotions using this toolkit. All right. I've learned that positive competition is good. Some planning healthy competition, we usually do as a result of the tools in the inner circle. We're not planning on working on the worksheet. Okay, this is really awesome. So, Bumi, I hope that this helps you to put things in perspective. All right. Okay. And then of course, for the person who is has only a child, one child, you can also try, your environment, church. You can also even use virtual, systems to help your child to also be able to practice. Remember that this is beyond siblings. This is also what they will practice in school and all of that. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Bumi. Now, that and then you can also use this for your own siblings. Most times when you actually look at the things that you do, you need to ask yourself, can I put it back at me? So, recently I told you that my dad, who unfortunately isn't in class today, all right, have to undergo a surgery today. He's not in class. He's part of this class. Started with us, but not in class today. And I was when you finished the day one and the day two, and then he wrote out some things and said that by Monday when he's better, he's going to actually call his own siblings. So that's him. He's not applying it with his own children. He's applying with his own siblings. So that might actually be a beautiful idea for you, to actually begin to apply it with your own siblings, because I usually say that it's first about you before it is about any other person. All right. That can be your way of showing example. And then so we've been able to adopt the sibling mentorship and get set and we started with bonding activities. All right. The finding exciting. So somebody said yesterday's communication class was about me. I'm on a journey on being assertive. Awesome. So I and my husband are using the conflict resolution flowchart. I love it. Use it with your spouse. It's helping us with our trigger points. I love it. So that's it's more about you. So don't sit back and say, oh, my children are not here, or it's use it with your friends, use it with your with your workplaces. All right. These things are even even though it is dealing with sibling rivalry, it's dealing with conflict. It's conflict resolution. That's what it is. These are the same techniques for dealing with conflict anytime, any day. All right. Dealing with conflict anytime, any day. These are the same solution. So throughout the day, I want you um, to look at, observe the children, how they're applying these solutions. So while you do, for if any of your children are not around, you can, do this anytime that they come in, but you can also start doing it with your spouse or with anybody around you. Use the tracking session to note what they are doing. Are they facing challenges? So don't just watch them do things. And thank you to everybody for that. Don't just say use tracking session to know what they're doing. And then don't just do the things. What steps did you take today to solve a conflict? Let them be able to actually talk about it. How did you feel to put solution into action? When your child comes back from school, ask your child, what steps did you take today to solve a conflict? How did it feel to put your solution into action? So these are some of the things that you want to, actually, say. Encourage, let there be encouragement notes. Provide positive feedback. So today we were sharing in the inner circle, for those of us who are here, that we're sharing in the inner circle about, feedback. And one of the things that I realized is that many times we don't share feedback to our children. We are only interested in sharing challenges. So something has happened. We are now going on and on and on, and then you are complaining about it. You've started implementing. Now you have tools to implement, and then you've seen improvement. We don't share feedback. We don't write encouraging notes. We don't talk about the effort. We don't talk about the success. So I want you to actually share what we call encouragement notes. If you're in the yard, there's something that we call encouragement letter to your children, where you actually say to them, I see you, I hear you. Yes, I might be saying that this is not okay. But what I'm trying to say also is that you've done so much and I'm proud of you. Let that come out of you. This is so important because it's very key that your children know that they are not just doing this thing that nobody can notice. Somebody can see. So let there be, I see you, I hear you kind of conversation. Right? So that's what the encouragement note part is about. So write it down. Let's provide positive feedback. Write down encouragement note. Try to reduce, the every time there is a complaint. Let there be, each child said, oh, today I saw that when your brother was talking, you didn't respond. You waited until you finished talking. Observe. And that's why the tool before is very important. Tracking, implementation. How do you put in, this, and then you observe. Right? Okay. Okay. Then of course we have creating a positive family environment, which is part of the things that you would need to do for day 2. Now, remind your children about the importance of taking action after identifying and discussing solutions to conflict. It's not enough to talk about solutions. They must put it into practice. Stay patient and persistent. Emphasize that new habits, new approaches in resolving conflict take time to develop. Don't be in a hurry. Hey, I started dealing with this in parenting class. Oh, and they've not finished. Stop being in a hurry. Encourage to be patient with themselves. You too, be patient with your children. Don't just start shouting, I brought all the tools. You people are not doing it. Calm all the way down. Like we say in the inner circle, calm all the way down. Right? Celebrate small wins. Explain to your children that every small effort towards resolving conflict deserves a recognition. All right? Success doesn't mean perfection. Stop thinking of perfection. It's about trying to improve their relationship each day. That's what they are trying to do. So ask each child, what is that one thing you want to focus on today to resolve conflict? So ask yourself, if you do not have a child, you are in this class, what is that one thing I want to focus on to resolve conflict today? Right? I used one of these, tools to resolve a conflict with my own, brother, when we're, talking about something, and I was like, I just remembered, okay, so I'm going to do this before I do this. And it was in my head, and I was able to do it, and I avoided days and moments of escalation of, stuff. And it was to my own benefit. So before it is to the benefit of your child, it is to your own benefit first, which is actually very, very important. All right. So, of course, lesson 2, which is the worksheet 2, creating a positive family environment. You need to, the objective is that, to create a positive environment that supports family harmony, and encourages positive interaction between siblings. Remember that family harmony is a big deal. One of the reasons that in the inner circle we're very well bent on creating connection tools is for family harmony. Now, what are the points? You need to set family values. Explain what the family values is about. If you don't have family values, the team is going to share with you the link to be able to get family values guide, to be able to create one for yourself. It's easy. The guide is very easy. The team will share in your community how you can get family value guide. That's one of the things. That's the first pointer of creating family harmony. That's the first pointer of creating family harmony. You need to actually be sure that everybody's on the same page. Come together. It helps you to set expectations together. Discuss how each family member, will create, feel, so that everybody will be heard, everybody will be respected. Explain how setting expectations together can lead to a stronger bond, and how you guys need to do it together. And then there's something that we call the family motto, the family pledge. If you go through that family value, you're going to see all of the details. The guide is in our store, right? And while you come, you describe how a family pledge reinforces commitment. We have a family pledge in my home, and that pledge, every time that the children are standing up, and then we start with, so hey, remember, heads on shoulders, and then we say the family pledge. Everybody believes in it. Everybody believes in it. When you sign that pledge, every single member agree that these principles are the things that we need to support each other. That's the most important part. These are the things that we need to support each other. We need this. All of us need this. All of us, this is important. So everybody will be on the same page. When you're done, ask what are some of the values that you want us to live by. Don't do it alone. Please do not do it alone. Don't do it alone. A lot of the times, we just want to pass instructions without actually incorporating our children into the instructions that we have. Remember that it's all about being able to actually work together with your child. If you're able to do that, it helps and it changes the game for you. So that way, your child internalizes it and it becomes part of their process. Any family creed, any family value, any that you do on your own without incorporating, even if it's your 1-year-old, incorporate them. Ask your 1-year-old, what would you like this family to be about? Sometimes your 1-year-old will say, I just want us to have a lot of fun, play. It is part of it. It means that it's part of the structure. Actually, your family value, your family creed, your family mission, vision should come before you have children. When you now have children, you begin to have conversations around it. Now, ask your children, how can we show these values every day? Without family harmony, you are going to actually be creating a home where conflicts are very high. There's something called feeling the emotional bank of every person. When the emotional bank in your family is limited, there will be a lot of clashes. When emotional bank is, you feel it. Let me give a very vivid example. You have a friend, the friend is always, talking to you. You guys do a lot together. The day she forgets not to do it, you won't really say it. You won't really see it as anything, because you have the emotional bank is so full that when you withdraw from it, it doesn't cause an earthquake. So that's what the family harmony is about. So we're talking about prevention instead of just dealing with what it is that is already happening. So for you to deal with sibling conflict, you want to actually create an environment where conflict is easy to manage. Most of us live in homes where conflicts are difficult to manage, not because you do not know what to do, but because the harmony of the family is already shaking. And if the harmony of the family is shaking, it can upturn a lot of things. So sit together, Discuss the importance. Let each family member contribute. Get the family value guide. Please, if you do not have your family value, sit with it and create it. Set that expectation. Use, respect each other, respect and kindness. Of course, we're also talking about the family pledge. Write down a simple family pledge. We as a family pledge to be kind, respectful, supportive, would commit to resolving conflict peacefully and supporting each other. Let there be a pledge where everybody can actually come and be, on it together. All right. And then the third lesson is implementing conflict resolution strategies. Encourage siblings to apply specific strategies in managing, and resolving conflict. Let me say this also. Remember that it is all about you. So you can start with you first. So don't say, oh, coach, this is not for me. I don't have, my child is 1 or my child is 10. No, your child is here. And your child can actually work, and benefit from what it is that you're building. So how do they benefit? Work on you. Working on you means working your relationships. So use this same thing to actually work on your relationships. So lesson 4, you need to evaluate and reflect. Reflect, all right? The value of reflection cannot be overemphasized. What is happening? How is it happening? This is the conflict resolution flow chart. Remember it. Of course, you already have that flow chart with you. What are the steps? Identify the conflict. What are the issues? Express the feeling. How does each person, feel? We've talked about this yesterday. Of course, it's also in this flow chart. One of the things I want you to do regularly is to practice scenarios with children. It's a game changer for you. Practice scenarios with your children. When you practice scenarios, it actually helps your children to see things differently. All right. So when you practice scenarios, your children are able to, when they are in that place, they are able to actually do some of those things. Now, your greatest gift is not just what you provide, it is who you become. Your greatest gift is not what you provide, it is who you become. Now, the question is, who are you becoming? So you look at all the parts of your life and you're saying, oh, I just want to help my children resolve their conflict. How about you? Have you thought of the fact that there is a problem with you too, not being able to actually resolve conflict with your friends or even with your spouse? Is it possible that when I build me, my children are just going to see me and they're just going to take it on and run? All right. So family discussions. The point is, what did you learn today about resolving conflict? Let this be a thing you do weekly, right? So, and then of course, lastly, you evaluate. Help your children to see evaluation, the experiences. Ask each child. Think about the position experience that they've had today. The challenges that they've spent, what went well, what didn't go well. Even when they come back from school, you can use these guides to be able to help them. Do what we call the family check-in. Always check in with everyone. Set aside a time. We do it in my home. When the twins are home, we do it weekly. We have a weekly family check-in. Then we have a monthly family meeting. It's a standard thing in our home. But we do a weekly family check-in. How are you doing? What did you learn about this thing today? What are the things that that you're doing? How are they? Encourage your children to set goals. At the end of that, we encourage our children to set goals. Set goals of what it is that they need to do per time. Let your children understand that goal setting is part of the process of also being able to resolve conflict. So your conflict resolution is going to become easier when you are able to, all right, be able to you are able to actually look at your conflict, prepare for it. Prepare for it. All right. So preparing to resolve conflict. So this is very key, and I just wanted to run through that sheet so that you'll be able to understand that sheet. But let me say I want to teach you 5 C's of preparing to resolve conflict. Whether it's in your personal relationship, is in your teaching, in your parenting, it is in your what's it called? In your everyday things that you do with your children, whatever it is, whatever it is, one of the things that you want to do is to look at how you can resolve conflict, and of course it becomes an advantage for you. So I'm going to be sharing with you what I called the 5 C's of resolving conflict. The 5 C's of resolving conflict. Number 1 C of resolving conflict is understand the issue. Before addressing any conflict, take time to clearly understand what the problem is. It means to gather your facts. It means to separate emotion from fact. This is one of our biggest problems. We're always in the place where we're so emotional. We emotionalize everything. Is it the emotion or is it the fact? Identify the core issue. Don't become so emotional that you leave, the core issues, and then you are just everywhere. You are just, just being everywhere. You're just set intention. Be clear on what you hope to achieve. See, clarity opens the door to understanding. Calmness, which is the second one, invites peace to follow. The first step to resolving conflict is listening, not responding. Listening, not responding. Because when you understand that clarity clears the path, calmness keeps us steady, communication builds the bridge. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to learn that conflict resolution, the first point of call is listening, it's not responding. Let it be something you practice every day. Okay, I want to listen. I don't want to respond first. Many of us are guilty of responding before we actually even know what is happening. Number 2 is calmness. Managing your emotion. Approach the situation with calmness. Approach it with, composed mind. Let you be led by your mind. Don't be led by your mood. One of the greatest things that you must learn about emotions regulation is that one of the greatest tools you must learn about emotions regulation is the way of being led with your mind, not your mood. You see, that's how I feel. However I feel, that's how I react. It's being irresponsible with your emotions. So calmness is you pausing, telling yourself, I want to approach this with calmness and a composed mind. Take a few breaths, pause. The time between the pause and the thing that that happens is a time where a lot of things actually take place. Stay away briefly if you need to, so that you can gather your thoughts. And then promote a calm environment. Avoid heated or emotionally charged atmosphere that can escalate things. If things are escalating, step back. Step back and return later. Number 3 is communication. Active listening. Listen to the other person's perspective. Listen until the person stops. Yesterday, I taught you about using the I statement. Speak from your own experience so you can avoid blaming or accusing. For example, I feel, I observed, rather than you always, you never. Once you go that route, you make a mess of that process. Number 4, compassion. Empathize. I'm trying to run so that we can have time for questions. Empathize. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Understand the feelings. Be respectful. Instead of respect, scratch that. Be honorable. One thing that is very key in resolving conflict is the honor code. If you can get honor, there's a class we teach in the inner circle called honor as a skill. If you can build honor around you, somebody, if you have an altercation with someone, you're not going to be dishonoring. That gives you an edge. And how it is that you are actually even running through that conversation. It gives you an edge. It gives you that thing. When somebody is talking, you're not triggering the person by the things that you're saying. So honor is a code for you to actually use to actually win in a conflict. So if you do not have that honor as a code, it is something that you need to actually begin to build. So build honor in the system. Let your children build honor. Honor is not age. Right? When you have your children, when you have honor in a home, somebody will not come and say, you are very stupid, you are an idiot. Those things won't come up. Those things will come up. All right? Number 5 is commitment. Find a common ground. Find the common compromise. Look at the areas of agreement. Focus on the shared goals. Once a resolution is reached, make sure to follow through. Don't just, say, oh, show your commitment to maintaining peace. See, peace is a skill that you learn. It's not something that you wish. And if you're going to learn peace as a skill, then you're going to build yourself around these five C's to be able to actually solve problems. So these five C's can guide you through the process of resolving any conflict thoughtfully and effectively. It will help you to approach it in a way that strengthens relationship and fosters mutual understanding. All right. And of course, you have your worksheet to walk through all of the things that you need. Remember that there's a reflection on this worksheet. I want you to reflect today. What strategies seem the most effective for your family? How can you continue to support your child's growth in conflict resolution? Conflict resolution is a big deal. What I have given to you is something that even when my younger brother, studied conflict resolution, right, in masters, one of his master's degree, and I was having a conversation with him, and he said he attended one of the classes, communication class, and he said these things you teach are even more practical, broken down than what it is that we learned in school. So if you're able to actually take it and run with it, it's going to really change your life. And then it will help you to put all of that in place. Right? So this is where we actually come to an end of the whole what's it called? The conflict worksheet. Like I said, I want it to be very practical. Can you share your questions if you have any? If you have any, you can share your questions, but look at this family conflict resolution plan. I want you to take a look at it, and I want you to use it today to now begin to log the conflict that happens in your home. So if you cannot track conflict, you might actually have a problem. You might not be able to actually see what was wrong, what's happening, and all of that. So can you track the conflict? Can you track the conflict? So this is one thing to use to track the conflict. You identify the problem, you identify the steps you take, and then you put the date. So that way you look at the outcome. It's going to help your children to know that this thing is working. We're on the right track, and all of the things that you need to do. You have questions? If you have questions, please ask away. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, ask your questions. I want you to, practicalize all of the things, right? All of the things that you need, to do. Practicalize. I don't want this to be a theory class. And that's why we had a lot of, worksheets, and I want you to be able to, work on it and have solutions to it. Alrighty. I don't have any questions in the comment section. Please ask your questions. Ask your questions, please. Ask your questions. Ask your questions. Please tell them to bring me more tea. Okay, while I take my water and we're waiting for your questions to come, I told you today that we're going to do question and answer. Please, let's have it. I don't have questions, though. What's popping? Is it that the session is very clear? Talk to us. If it's very clear, it's fine. So that means I can just be going. That means I can just be going. Oh yeah, let's know now. Let's see you. Let's see you. I can't see any questions. We'll just wait a bit and see if you're going to have your questions. How do I help my children internalize the lessons on family conflict resolution plan? Okay, great. Your questions are coming now. Internalize the lesson. So you can have conversations. So you remember the worksheet. There's a place for reflection. Do a weekly check-in with each of the family member. All right. This is something that you can do. All right. Do a weekly, check-in. Remember that this is going to take a while. So every week you can come and do a reflection. If you look at the worksheet, you will see this page. All right, family check-in, yes. Set aside time to discuss with family how the last 3 days have gone. Let each person share their thoughts about their experiences. So a family check-in will do wonders for you. How do I get my 1-year-old to get used to values and run with them? Just keep speaking. That's the only way. Just keep speaking. Just keep speaking. All right. Once you are speaking, you are, it will look like the child cannot hear it. But trust me, the child is internalizing it more than the child who is older. Because, when you are older, it's actually very, very more difficult, right? So, but your 1-year-old is going to be, your 1-year-old is not completely formed. It's not in that space where everything is just, stuck. So they're still open to a lot of learning. So, and then you can break it down in small details. In this house, we don't yell. It can just be maybe the child is shouting. You're like, okay, so when you're ready to speak, you speak to me, because remember, in this home, we don't yell. Something as simple as that. Don't make it complicated. How do you get family members who has cut off communication to start communicating again? One of the things that you can do, you can use, number one way to do it is to reach out anyway and talk to them, or use a middle person to mediate in your conversations. I do not know the weight or the degree or the whatever it is about the conflict. And we need to understand more about conflict to actually give the appropriate answer. So it's a bit, dicey to just give a straight answer. But there are several things that can be done, but there is a solution. All right. What if a child that doesn't easily open up when you ask or plead with her? If a child is not opening up, don't plead. He's not asking or pleading. Connect. Connect. Go back to your worksheets. You see this sibling bonding worksheet. Do it with them. Join in that 30-day challenge. You are not connect. Any child who doesn't open up to you is not connected with you. Any child who doesn't open up with you is not connected. So that child is not connected. So the problem is not the child. The problem is that there's no connection. So you can't correct the child you're not connected to. I believe connection is fundamental in all the discussions with rivalry. Yes, it is. Someone said, my husband is having unresolved conflict with some of his family members and is affecting my children. I want to ask us to resolve this, but he said it's out. What do I do? The only way is to have a conversation with him and convince him that it's something that he needs. That's the only way. You can't really force him, right? You can't really, it's not even forcing. He needs to agree. He needs to agree, okay, that it's a need for him. So, I was speaking about my dad. My dad is 75. And my dad needed to get to a point where he understood that this thing was something he needed to do. It's been long coming. Just look at us now. It's been very long. We've been talking about it, but for the first time, he agreed that this is it. And this is something that he's willing to do. So that's, a solution. That's the way to look at it. All right. So is there any other question? I can't see any other question. No. I cannot. Are you guys releasing me already? That would be so interesting. I can't see any other question. Let me see if there's any question. But please, one thing that I want to beg of you is these sheets, use them. We created them so that you can use it. All right. How can I help my child stop crying and explain herself whenever she has misunderstanding with her playmate? She withdraws and she will start crying without talking. So, Bumi, you need to build your child's self-esteem. Go and get the self-esteem guide, the self-confidence guide. Please start walking your journey, your daughter's journey through it. Your daughter needs to build the confidence to be able to actually do those things. It's the confidence that is the problem. All right, Chineze, I can't see your question. I'm answering the questions one after the other. Any question that I see, I answer. I haven't seen your question. It didn't come up. Sorry about that. All right, you might need to retype it. Okay. Somebody said, how do you connect with 18 and 19-year-old stepchildren that refuse to relate due to external influences? Okay, so one thing that I say about stepchildren is stop trying to force. Start looking at you. Tell yourself that I just want to become. So don't go to them with the mindset of it must be positive. Go to them with the mindset of I just want to connect. Just so interested in what they do. Don't don't go with the I just want us to just be you, be working on you and just let them be able to see. See, it's the same thing for adult children, whether they are older or they are younger. What you want to do is to start with you. The moment you are able to start with you, it makes all of the difference. All right, Tim, did you share the link to the confidence? Please share the link to the confidence guide. Someone is asking for it. You can get it. You can work on it. Yes, coach, they're internalizing it. I remember the sex educate period. I was wondering how my 3-year-old will understand what I'm saying until one day I was shocked at what he said. That's it. You will be shocked at what your children will say because your children are actually working. They are internalizing a whole lot. In fact, when you have younger children, you should be happier. Okay. But really, for older children, for stepchildren, begin to look at now. This class is not about stepchildren, unfortunately, but I am sure that this will also help you. You can also go and look out for, like, there was a session at TIP annual conference, someone who spoke about working with children, right? But one thing you want to do is to focus on you. Don't focus on them. Focus on you. Don't focus on them. If you focus on them, you'll be frustrated. But if you focus on you and ask yourself, every day ask yourself, what do I become? How do I become better to help these children? What do I do? Right? Chineze, again, I can't see your question. You might want to type it again and send in the community, in this place, so I can answer your question. All right. How do I get the confident guide? Okay, so the team will share not the self-esteem guide, the confidence, Augustine, right? You have that. Okay. How do we deal with siblings who attack you always? So build you. Again, it comes back to you. When they attack you, if you're calm, see, when people bring you fire and you're calm about the fire, it dies off. But when people bring you fire and you pour fire back with it, the fire escalates. So build you. At the time when they bring you fire and you are like, okay, there's something it does to them. I was telling you that was in this class I was sharing how he was my elder brother I was having a conversation with, and one of the things that we were he raised his voice, yelled at me, and I was like, okay. And then I kept quiet. Immediately I did that, he was quiet. He realized that, okay, I shouldn't have raised my voice. And then, he turned and calmed down. So when you respond to people with a lot of calm, there's something that it actually does to you. All right? There's something it does to the person. So it calms them back down. So work on you. Leave the next person. Leave the next person. Somebody said, how can I resolve a conflict that usually comes up when family member asks for help and did not meet with the demand? When a family member asks for help, and you can't meet the demand. Of course, one of the things that happens is that we've had a lot of entitlement, of course, that have happened in this family. One thing that you want to do is do not don't let people blackmail you or put you in a place where you have to do the things that you're not supposed to do, in quotes, right? So don't also escalate things. Since you know that this is a trigger, When it happens, just say, this is what it is that I can do or cannot do. And don't lead them on. When they bring it, like I said, don't pour the fire. Don't lead, that on. And then you are able to also put a lot. The truth is, most of the conflict we have in our families is not just, this is the symptom. There is more going on. This is the symptom. There's actually more going on. Okay. As much as I understand the place of connection, how do you connect with a spouse to resolve conflict who believes that some things should not be talked over? Just move on. Of course, you have a spouse who has trouble resolving conflict. Most of us do. Let's be sincere with it. Most of us do. One of the things you want to do is that you want to continue to show your spouse that talking about it is important to you. You want to continue to show your spouse that talking about it is important to you, which is a very key aspect of your journey. So it is the showing of your spouse, it's the showing that actually it's going to resist. So this morning at my intentional parenting journey, it was Dr. Chisom who shared that the first time somebody said, "Oh, don't beat your children, you don't need to hit them," that she was angry. She blasted the person, she was upset. But after a while, she started to actually think about it, started to journey through, and eventually found herself in the inner circle. So you want to actually, what I call, giving grace, but not the kind of grace that, hey, I've done it now, I'm going. No, give grace. Explain unto your spouse understands it. All of us are coming from a lot, and which is actually a very key aspect. How do I stop my 3-year-old son from crying for everything? To cry is an emotion. It shouldn't irritate you. One of the things you want to do when your 3-year-old cries is, it's okay to cry. I understand how you feel. When you're done crying, you can come so that we can talk about it. It's simple. You don't need to shout. You don't need to wail. You don't need to scream. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything, right? And Vera, I would also suggest that you can also do some sort of you can also do some sort of what's it called, uh marriage counseling or something, if that can happen. But that's another conversation altogether. For crying, I hope that helps you. The person is saying that the child the this thing the child is always crying. Children will cry, it's an emotion. Just teach them that crying doesn't really solve the problem, therefore they need to do much more and all of that. So yes, so that's it. That's basically about that. I don't think that I can see any other question. I don't think I can see any other thing. And is there any other question here? None, 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 none. We cannot see any other one. If there are more questions while you go through, I'm sure that when you're walking through the worksheets, you're going to see more questions. The questions are going to be quite a lot. So when you walk through, the worksheet, of course, there will be a lot much more for you to ask. The group is going to be open in the next 1 month for you to actually ask questions. I will be able to respond to you and share with you the things that you need, right? And that would actually help a lot. Let me see. Let me see if there is any other. Okay, so thank you so much. It's been an amazing time spending time with you for 3 days. And now let me also say to you, please find time and register to be in the academy, right? It will help you to sustain what you have learned, because beyond what it is that you're learning here, there is more, and there is a whole lot, happening. There's so much, to do. There's so much, all right, in parenting. We can't even finish it in 3 days. But I'm sure that these have given you the true tools, the know-how to be able to navigate through your journey and be able to actually know what to do. All right. I am here, and of course, we will support you through the next 1 month. If you have questions, put it in the chat room, and be sure to share your reviews, what it is that this class has been able to do for you. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's been such a pleasure. And shout out to my dad who joined this class. He's my #1 candidate for this class. Amazing, amazing time. Shout out to every single one of you who trusted us to this class. We are very grateful. My team and I do not take your time for granted. And we look forward to seeing you in the yard. We look forward to seeing you in the inner circle, which is where you can, begin to journey through and do, all of the things that you do. See you. Is there a way to help twins resolve their conflict? Yes, of course, it's the same way. I have the same things, the same thing. Go and start from day one. I have a set of twins. I have 14-year-olds who are twins. My children are twins. I don't have any of the child, right? My children are twins. Thank you so much for joining me. And of course, ask the questions in the group, and I will be glad to actually answer you. Have an amazing, amazing rest of the day and enjoy your weekend.